Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Sost, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Gig Economy Lounge. Today I wanted to speak about a topic that doesn't really get talked about a whole lot in a very pointed sense, but it gets talked around, which is the Uber Pro program. Now, if you have it, I'm sure there's a lot of great features. I know one of the biggest features that I seen on there was ASU tuition reimbursement for gold members and above. And for those that don't have it yet, trust me, they will roll it out. But I do want to talk about certain things that I think every single gig economy contractor should think about before putting so much weight behind the Uber Pro program. So this is probably not, if anybody's been listening for the longest time, you will know how positive I am about Uber and Lyft and about just like rideshare and the gig economy in general from a macro standpoint. But this I really want to speak to because it hits me because I see a lot of people who, get rattled by, email communications from Uber and Lyft about cancellation rates or acceptance rates or, any of those pre-written emails or text messages or messages in app. It doesn't really matter where they're coming from. And I believe these are the same people that get wrapped up behind this one feature. So there is one feature, a single feature in the Uber Pro program that is based off of your acceptance rate. Now, a lot of people will, they will stand by this and they will preach that it is great. And I will say it is a great feature. But as a gig economy contractor, you need to weigh the benefits of this one feature, which is getting the estimated time and direction of a request. Ironically enough, this is the only feature in all of Uber Pro that is based off of your acceptance rate. So you have to have an acceptance rate or a cancellation rate of like less than 4%. And you have to like accept X amount percent, whatever it is. But I actually, for whatever reason, got bumped up to Uber Gold. So I started looking around and I said, wow, this is the only feature that actually requires me to accept 90 some odd percent or 90% of the requests coming in. And this is the only feature that, has stipulations on cancellation percentages. Everything else, though, is not based on that at all. So I bring this up because in recent days, I think I seen it yesterday, but it was published on the 26th of June. There was a driver that went ham sandwich on this rider, and the rider recorded it and posted it on YouTube. I will post a link to it in this podcast description, whether it's on YouTube or any of the other podcast forums. I will put a link to this video. I mean, this driver literally goes off the flippin' deep end because she chose to accept a trip that was like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. I don't know. It was a hella long way. And obviously she didn't get a long pickup fee. Like the long pickup fee is not in her market yet. And it got me thinking because I look back and I've done a ton of long pickups. And there have been very, very, very few instances where I showed up only to make, a few bucks. There are certain things that we can do, right? So there's situational awareness, like realizing what time of day it is, where you're currently at, what day of the week it is. All these things play into whether or not you should accept a request or not. Now that could be for a long distance pickup, or it could be, 8-9 minutes away. I have been ridiculed over a long time about being quote unquote a, data driven rideshare driver. And there's no strategy to rideshare driving. Those same people that say there's no strategy to rideshare driving are the ones driving fucking 18 minutes to make $3.18. Like, I'm sorry. Don't mean to piss anybody off, but fuck you. There is strategy to rideshare if, you would like to not end up in certain situations like that. And you don't have to go balls deep into, data driven ride. Like there's tons of strategies, right? So there are tons of drivers, including myself, that won't travel past X amount of minutes. Like the long distance pickup fee only is, there are very few instances where I can like look back and say that it was worth it. Most of the time I turn down rides, anything over 9 minutes away, 8 to 9 minutes, especially, depending on where I am. However, there are times of days that I drive. There are days of the week that I drive. There are areas in my market that I drive where if I get a request at a certain time from a certain area on a certain day, and the kicker is it's a scheduled pickup, that there is a high likelihood, over 90% likelihood, that pickup is going to the airport, and thus the long pickup fee will be worth it because you tack that on with the tip, because I very rarely ever have people going to the airport that don't tip. So I just look at it as, hey, it's a ride to the airport, and those are the type of rides that I'm looking for on this time of the day, on these days. And it works out great. So, I just did a Facebook Live in another group, in a local group, and I talked about this county that's north of us, and I talked about how there were, all the pickups were like 12 to 15 minutes away, but you would be stacked with rides, and how the county all smelled like ashtrays. Anyways, I don't want to digress into, that entire podcast, but that area is prime for, airport rides early in the morning on Monday, Tuesdays, and bleeding into Wednesdays, but primarily Mondays and Tuesdays. Lots of people live way the hell up there and are business travelers, and thus they are going to the airport early in the mornings on Mondays and Tuesdays. And obviously they are coming home on Fridays, Thursdays, or Fridays. So I wanted to empathize with the driver, right? But number one, you should probably never go off on your rider. Like I don't know. Like it's not the rider's fault that he requested a ride and you chose to accept it and come all the way to come pick him up. It's not his problem. That's just kind of how the platform works, right? It's not like he's selecting a driver. It's not like he's going in and saying, which driver is the furthest away? Oh, Tammy, 28 minutes away. I'm definitely selecting Tammy. Like it doesn't happen like that. In the video, he talked about how, he spends hundreds of dollars a month on Ubers. So obviously, this isn't his first Uber, and I'm sure it probably still won't be his last, even though this girl melted down. And when you watch the video, you'll see why I selected the name Tammy. If you follow any of the funny videos on Facebook, or they're on YouTube, there's a internet character named Tammy. It's great, back and forth series that's going on there. But she reminded me of Tammy, so that's why I chose the name Tammy. But getting back to this, how we go about selecting which rides to take, and I've seen a lot of posts about people talking about how the Uber Pro program manipulates drivers. And no, you fucking allow it to manipulate you. Like, that's your choice. Like, you chose that. Like, I'm sorry. For me, knowing the time and distance or time and direction of a trip ain't that fucking important. Like, I like to use common sense. If a request is coming from a certain area, at a certain time, I can reasonably predict where that ride's going to go on average. So I can predict over the long haul. Will I be wrong certain times? Hell yeah, I'll be wrong. But, overall, from a much bigger picture or much bigger vantage point, my strategy behind which rides to take and which rides not to take nets me the best results that I know of, which is I can't think of the last time, it was probably months ago, if not almost a year ago, where, I called out myself on this one as I'm driving up there, out to this pickup. And because I usually say this to all the long distance pickups, which once again, long distance pickup fees for Uber, be smart about it. Look at the mileage. Don't look at the time. Like it could be like 20 minutes, right? But you're only going 6 miles. You know what I mean? So like that long distance pickup fee isn't very much. Whereas if you're having to jump on the highway, or if you're jumping on an elevated speed limit road, still has lights, but it's considered like a highway or a route, then, and you're looking at like 20 minutes and 18 miles, that's going to be a pretty sizable long distance pickup fee. But there have been times where I've been driving towards, a pickup, and on the way there, I just curse myself. I go, Chris, this ride isn't going to go very far. And every once in a while, I'll get there, and sure enough, they're not going very far. And you know what? Am I pissed off on the inside? Hell yeah, I'm pissed off on the inside. Because the way I look at it, I just lost money. And, I'm in it for the money. So if I'm losing money, then it just pisses me off. But I don't go off on the rider. It's not the rider's fault that person's going to work or is going from their work to home or, whatever the situation is. Like, what are they supposed to do? Like, wait 30 minutes and hope, like, watch intensely their app for another driver to pop up and then request a ride? No, like, that's ludicrous. Like, why the hell would I do that as a passenger? Like, as a user of an app where the whole idea is where I open it up and request a ride, why the hell am I going to sit there and wait and watch the app and say, oh, there'll be a driver that pops up closer? Just request and then just whatever. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's on the driver's side. The driver should be the one. Tammy, or whoever this lady is, she should have looked at that request because apparently she was in a good area when the request came in. Like, how the hell are you going to be sitting in a good area where there's requests coming in, and then a request comes fucking 20 minutes away, and you're like, yeah, this is totally the right decision to make by accepting this and driving up there. Even if you've had good experiences like I have. Like, I've had great experiences on long distance pickups. But even if you're in a good area, if you're in an area that's popping in terms of requests, why the hell would you accept something 15, 20 plus minutes away, 30 minutes away? It's crazy. Like, please, I hope that you guys watch this video because this lady like has like a nervous breakdown. And I've read a ton of things where, people are like blaming Uber. She's blaming Uber in the video, and everybody's like, oh, well, the rates weren't so low. All this other like nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, you're a fucking independent contractor. Like, when a request comes in, you have to make a decision whether or not you think it's going to be worth your time to go complete that ride. So when you're 3 minutes away and there's a short ride, whatever. It was only 3 minutes away. But when a request comes in 12, 17, 21, 30 plus minutes away, fuck, man. You've really got to think this one through. Like, in this whole acceptance rate bullshit or, the cancellation rate bullshit on the Uber platform. If something's coming in 20 plus minutes away, just hit decline, especially if you're in a good area. Or, even let's just say you accidentally accept and then like you quickly think and you're like, no, made a mistake. Just cancel the ride really quickly and keep moving. It's not a big deal. Like, yes, when you're on Lyft, like, do they care about cancellations? Absolutely. But like when you're just like decline, Monday and Tuesday mornings, even Wednesday mornings, I am on a decline fest with Lyft. Like, I'm sorry, 12 minutes away, decline. 11 minutes away, decline. 10 minutes away, decline. The only way I'm traveling 10 plus minutes or 9 plus minutes to go pick somebody up is if I get a long distance trip alert, like 30 minutes plus or 45 minutes plus, or if I get one of those alerts, yeah, I'll go out and I'll pick them up. But other than that, like, I'm sorry, like Lyft doesn't even pay a long distance pickup fee. I know they're testing things in certain markets where, paying time and mileage to go there. I'll have to test it out once it comes to the Tampa market. But as of right now, I'm sorry, it costs me to move my wheels. So as an independent individual who utilizes the Uber and Lyft app to gain requests, I am going to do everything in my power, which I have a ton of power, even though some people would like to say that I am a victim of Uber and Lyft. I'm a poor victim. I get treated like an employee, which is totally not true. It's you have to do what's in your best interest. So check the video out. You form the opinion that you would out of this video. Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and have a wonderful day.